Dude, new comic book weekly for what is today's date? November 24th, of course, dude. Hope you guys are having a good week. It's about to be Thanksgiving, celebrating it here in the States. Hope you guys have a good Thanksgiving, dude. But yeah, let's talk about some comic books today, right? So today's topics include, if you guys saw the title and if you see the thumbnail, we're eventually talking about the DC Comics solicitations for February 2026. So we'll get to that in a second. First, I want to show you guys the comic books that I'm looking to pull for the week of November 26th, New Comic Book Day. So we'll go over my 11 pulls really quick, and then we'll do some comic book reviews for everything that came out last week. What would that be? November, I don't know, November 19th. Okay, so that's what we'll do. Comic book reviews for that, and then we'll get into the DC Comics solicitations for February 2026, and then to close it out, I always like unboxing an action figure. Today we've got the classic Riddler from McFarlane joining the Joker. We opened 2 weeks ago, 2 or 3, 2 weeks ago, I think. Last week we unboxed this guy, Scarecrow. Okay, so we got the Joker, we got the Scarecrow, and then today we got the Riddler, man. So the DC villain shelf, as you guys can see, coming together pretty nicely with all the Batman villains, man. So yeah, that's what we're doing today. Action figure unboxing. That's at the tail end. We're also going to do some DC pulls, not DC pulls, like the solicitations for 2026 February. We got my weekly pull list, and then we got some weekly comic book reviews. But let's get into it, starting off with the weekly pull list, man. So the week of November 26th got a lot of bangers. I mean, you guys see them right at the top. Absolute Batman number 14 is coming out, but we also got Absolute Wonder Woman 14 coming out. That's crazy. That's sick. So two of the best, some of the best series out of DC coming out on the same day. Absolute Wonder Woman number 14, Absolute Batman number 14. As you guys see here, Batman and Catwoman face down Bane in a final battle. Once the dust settles, what will it all mean for the future of Batman, dude? So very excited to see Batman, Catwoman taking down Bane. Looks like Killer Croc, Batman's buddy Wayland gets involved as well, as at least on the cover. And yeah, so Absolute Batman number 14, continuing this awesome Batman series. We also have Absolute Wonder Woman number 14. This one is part 2, I think, right, of, Absolute Wonder Woman. She's going against that, like, lightning thing that kind of resembles Diana, right? So it's very, kinda confusing a little bit. They say here it's an all-new supernatural threat that Diana is uniquely unqualified to solve. So yeah, we'll see what I think this is like a part 2 of a little mini arc that they're doing for Absolute Wonder Woman. So, yeah, we don't have the main artist, Hayden Sherman, on. That's alright. I think that, Mateus Bergara, he's doing a great job. So Absolute Woman number 14, that's number 2 pick of the week. Batman Green Arrow The Question Arcadia. Hopefully my shop has one of these for me. This is a new DC Black Label series that, obviously from the title you guys can see. Batman's crossing over with Green Arrow, crossing over with The Question for a new DC Black Label series. You guys see from the cover, Gabriel Hardman, he is doing the art and the writing. It looks like the only thing he's not doing is the coloring, it sounds like. So, yeah, dude, I'm excited to see what Gabriel Hardman bringing his style to probably take place in Gotham City. I guess I don't know that for sure. But yeah, The Question, Green Arrow, and Batman all teaming up. Obviously, sad days because the Green Arrow series was canceled. To make room for this, that's kind of the justification that we heard. And obviously, The Question, uh, you know, getting some love as well. I don't know when this takes place in, I guess, DC Black Label, so it doesn't take place in DC continuity, like, really, you know what I mean? But it's just a nice DC story there. Batman, Green Arrow, The Question, Arcadia. We also have DCKO number 2. I'm excited for this, man. Listen, I don't know how you guys feel. Oh, I missed this. I missed this comment earlier. We got Seth the Tech 6597. He says, "Hey, what's up, Seth?" But yeah, DCKO, dude, I'm actually pretty into DCKO. It's kind of hard to get me way involved in some of these DC events. You know what I mean? We're talking Lazarus Planet. You know what I mean? We're talking Beast World, stuff like that, right? So not like a big DC event guy typically, but I think DCKO is pretty fun. I'm interested to see how it goes with all of the, Samantha the Bear, Homelander, Vampirella, those kind of characters coming in. That I'm a little kind of wary about, but the main DCKO title has been pretty strong so far with one issue out. I think the tie-ins are pretty strong as well too. And yeah, so we'll have to see what happens with DCKO number 2. Escape number 4. Guys, listen to me for real. Actually, when you guys go to your shop, if you're not coming home with a copy of Escape number 4, you've messed up New Comic Book Day. You need to scrap it and do it all again, man, because you're messing up. This is sick. Escape number 4, Rick Remender written series with awesome artwork from Daniel Cunha. It really is like one of the best looking comics on stands. This is Saving Private Ryan, sorta. It's kinda like that movie 1917, if you ever saw that war movie. It's just a World War II story, but it takes place, the characters in it are anthropomorphic. So you see this bear guy, he's sort of stuck behind enemy lines, and yeah, that's kind of where the story is right now, fighting off the Nazis, dude, that are taking the form of bats in this story. So yeah, dude, Escape. I'm loving Escape. It's one of my favorite series of the year. If you guys aren't reading Escape, I think you're missing out, dude, for real. But yeah, Escape number 4 from Image Comics. Moving right along, we got Geiger number 18. Big fan of Geiger. I think I'm maybe 3 issues behind. So I gotta catch up, but I like to save and binge read Geiger. It's like one of my guilty pleasure comic books for sure, dude. So it looks like we got a different art team on this one, but that's all right, man. Geiger's continuing. I love Geiger, dude. So that's cool. Green Arrow number 30. I was just talking about this. The fact that this series is almost coming to an end. When does it end? I think issue 31 is the last one, dude. So wow. Sad days, dude. We got 2 issues of Green Arrow left before the series is over. That's depressing, dude. Chris Condon's been killing it. Obviously, you guys have heard me say nothing but good things about this series. And listen, I'm not gonna put any blame, guys, but it's your fault for getting it canceled. All right, you didn't support it enough. I tried my best, but yeah, this series is coming to an end. It's really sick, dude. It's Green Arrow fighting against this dude named the Crimson Archer, some guy from back in Ollie's past coming to just make everybody addicted to drugs in Star City or whatever. So um, not good, dude. But yeah, Green Arrow is gonna take him down, I'm sure, in issue number 30, and then we got one more after that. Family TCG says, "Hey, hey, you're live. Guess I'll have to put my omnibus down." Yeah, that's an interesting thing. Do you guys read? Are you able to read comics and listen to videos, watch shows, or do you just stick to music or something, or do you just keep it completely silent when you're reading comics? For me, I'm able to have something in the background going, so yeah, thanks for joining, Family TCGs. Set the tech. Is there any comic you wish continued but didn't? There's a lot, man. There's a lot. I think that's a sign of a good comic book when you want it to continue, but it doesn't, and it just ends, right? A good example for me, probably something from like Image Comics, like there's some Image Comics series that just end way too soon or they never get their second volume and I really wish they would. Stuff like just looking at my ceiling here. Um, oh, stuff like The Cull, Kelly Thompson's The Cull with artwork from Matea de Luis. That series was sick, and I don't know if it's gonna continue. Um, Yeah, I don't know. I would say for the most part, like I feel like the comic book creators have a good sense of when to end a story, so they don't keep it going for too long. Um, that's a tough question. I'll have to remember that one, and maybe we could do a topic for another day, like just a whole bunch of comics that I wish continued but didn't. But thank you for the nice question, Seth the Tech Dude. Real appreciate it. All right, moving along, guys. Justice League Unlimited 13. If you guys haven't been reading the Justice League Unlimited series, it reminds me a lot of the original cartoon, like Justice League Unlimited. It's pretty sick. It's just groups of the Justice League going out and doing missions. I would say though, in the second arc, they kind of got away from that. They got tied into something was going on. I forget, like We Are Yesterday, kind of like a mini event. Um, so the Justice League Unlimited series got kind of sidestepped just a tad bit. But hopefully, continuing it. I like this thing they're doing now with the Terrific 10. You guys see the lineup here. It's just a bunch of time displaced DC heroes that are joining Mr. Terrific, doing some DC KO stuff, man. So we got Batman Beyond joining the man. So yeah, that's really cool. The Justice League Unlimited issue number 13, a DCKO tie-in. Looking forward to it. Art from Dan Mora. Listen, never gonna say no to Dan Mora artwork, dude. All right, 3 more issues to talk about before we get to our weekly comic book reviews. Then we get into our DC solicitations for Feb 2026, and then we unbox the action figure. All right, so let's get into Skin Breaker number 3. Man, listen, Skin Breaker number 2 really surprised me. I know that issue number 1 wasn't everybody's favorite from a story standpoint. Little bit. It's kind of a simple story on its surface, right? But I think with issue 2, they had a nice time jump, and then the artwork has been insane all throughout with David Finch's artwork. If you guys are seeing just the level of details, obviously it's a little blurry, it's a little, but like just the pencil mark. I mean, just so fine detail from David Finch here. It's really really crazy stuff. Check out these variant covers. Oh, that's pretty cool. But yeah, Skin Breaker number 3, just a Robert Kirkman written series. Nice little mini. Got some flavors of like Avatar, like the blue people, not the Avatar Last Airbender kind of vibes. So yeah, check out Skin Breaker if that sounds interesting to you. Really great artwork, and yeah, pretty good story so far. Really stepping it up with issue number 2. Superman 32. So the last issue 31 dealt with Superman as he was getting ready for DC Chaos, all the preparations that Superman was making. So I don't know how this one will be a tie into DC KO. I'm not sure. We'll have to see. Lex Luthor is back. How did he get into the Deadly Tournament? Can Superman and Lex work together to learn about the heart of Apocalypse and how to stop it? Yeah, dude, I've been loving this Superman series all throughout. Looking back, dude, you guys can see. I've been pulling this since day one, dude, since day one. So really cool that it's been continuing for so long, and I've been loving the ride all throughout. Superman's been great, dude. Really good stuff from Josh Williamson. And we got, I'll mention real quickly, we've got some great artwork from Eddie Barrows on this one. He's got such a great look for Superman. He's like a top 5 Superman artist, in my opinion. So Eddie Barrows, keep killing it, dude. One more issue to talk about. The conclusion to the Invisible Man from Universal Monsters. If you guys haven't been checking this out, man, it's a great series. Obviously written by James Tynion the fourth with artwork from Denis. But man, issue number 3 had a crazy twist, like a crazy twist. The whole series is going in a different direction, dude. So we'll have to see how they close it out with issue 4. I really like this David Aja cover. What the hell? Some great covers here from the Universal Man, Invisible Man, Universal Monster stuff. But yeah, if you guys didn't hear, a new one's coming out. It's going to be Phantom of the Opera. Phantom of the Opera is coming out for Universal Monster sometime next year. So we're looking forward to that, man. But that's everything that I'm pulling for the week of November 26th. We got 11 things on here. Pick of the week. It's got to be Absolute Wonder Woman. It's got to be that, or Escape. Escape's also really good. But yeah, that's what we got coming out for this week's new comic book day. Let me know in the comments. Is there anything that I'm missing? As you guys are seeing, there's no Marvel. All right, there's no Marvel here. I'm pretty picky with my Marvel. So yeah, if there's anything Marvel that I should be pulling, let me know in the comments, dude. Really appreciate it. But now let's get into weekly comic book reviews. All right, so um, this is what we're talking about today. Just give you guys a rundown, okay? Batman Deadpool, we're talking about the DC side of this crossover, which I thought was way better than Marvel's attempt at the crossover. So we'll get into that. We got some Captain America as well. Been loving this series. Even though I don't pull a ton of Marvel, the Marvel I pull is really good, dude. So Captain America, we're also going to review Everything Dead and Dying, The Ultimates 18, which is a really good issue. The conclusion to New Gods. Ron B, his New Gods series finally ended. Sad days. News from the Fallout, a nice quick Image comic series. This was the conclusion of that as well. We got G.I. Joe, issue 14, The Dreadnought War Part 2. So we're going to be reviewing that. Absolute Flash number 9, which I know a lot of people have dropped, but I think is really stepping it up. Issue number 9 really surprised me. So that's been a series that has been hit or miss for some, but I've been liking it. Exquisite Corpses number 7. I might be coming to an end on this one. I got to look it up. I'm not sure, but it's been good. James Tynion the fourth. And then we're going to finish it up by talking about Nightwing, number 132. Nightwing's been great, dude. If you guys haven't been reading Dan Waters and Dexter Soy's Nightwing run, missing out, dude. But let's start off with Batman Deadpool number 1. Won't get too into it, man, but I thought this was a really great issue. The Batman and Deadpool crossover, this one worked a lot better than the last one did for me, probably with that Grant Morrison writing, you know what I mean? We got that Dan Mora artwork, so it looks great. And then it sounds great too with the Grant Morrison writing. Kind of like, timey-wimey, a little bit confusing in some places, maybe a little bit. Hopefully get some light on there. What's going on with the lighting, dude? It's tough doing this kind of stuff when you live in Maine, daylight savings time and all that, dude. It's getting dark. I don't know how to light anything. All right, that's gonna be That's the best it's gonna be for now. But yeah, so the first story was really good. Just Batman and Deadpool goofing around, teaming up. We get some great moments like what is his name, Dark Claw coming back, right? The old Amalgam comics. We got a comment from Seth the Tech real quick. He says, "In Absolute Flash, I've been hearing that Barry could be the main villain. Do you think Barry Allen should be the villain?" It's kinda setting it up like that. I don't know if you guys have been reading that, Absolute Flash series, but Barry's, like, stuck in time. He's, like, stuck in the Speed Force or something, so I don't know if he'll be the villain necessarily, but I could see that happening. Barry being Wally's reverse Flash, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's pretty compelling. That's pretty sad, dude. So, yeah, that might be this way they're going. It's kinda hard to tell right now, but I can see them setting that up. Anyways, this is a great issue. This is a great story. I like the way that it ended. Kind of ended in a little hopeful note. I got Batman saying "Happy Holidays," dude. So yeah, and then we get into the John Constantine Doctor Strange story. Insane stuff. This is like my one of my favorites from the whole crossover event. Just look at this paneling from Hayden Sherman. Hayden Sherman is just one of the best artists in the game. Whereas other artists, I mean, this would be a square, this would be a tiny square, this would be another square. You know what I mean? Hayden Sherman, the whole thing's like flowing, dude. Like he's using people's capes and stuff as kind of the framing device for the panel. Like over here, like what's going on? You got like this tiny middle interstitial panel. He's just doing it like no one else is doing it, man. So Hayden Sherman killed this story. Excellent on the artwork. We get some, Swamp Thing versus uh oh my gosh, dude. I'm just like the paneling is just so sick, dude. Like look at these circles. You know Hayden Sherman's got the protractor out. You know what I mean? Hayden Sherman got good grades in geometry for sure. But yeah, this Doctor Strange Constantine story was really good. Not like the longest thing in the world, but I like their kind of back and forth, their kind of different philosophies. And yeah, I think that the artwork especially was really good. Then we get into the Laura Kinney Wolverine and the Nightwing story. So sick, dude. This was one that you definitely want to see like a full mini on, like they have such good rapport with each other. Um, just like Laura Kinney's focus on family. The entire story is Nightwing Laura Kinney going after Laura Kinney's sister, trying to save him from Killer Croc. Nice, simple story, but with that Bruno Redondo artwork, Tom Taylor, he's back writing Nightwing. It was a lot of fun, dude. It was a lot of fun, um, especially kind of them both being like heroes that are kind of in the legacies of like these larger heroes and kind of what that means. I thought it was a fun story. The weak point of the issue was probably Harley Quinn and Hulk. Not like the most offensive story of all time. Like I thought the art was pretty good. I'm not like the biggest fan of. I think it's Amanda Connor's. Not a biggest fan of Amanda Connor's style, but that was a pretty fun story. I guess I really can't picture in my mind like the Hulk and Harley Quinn crossing over. Okay, here we go. Of the two, which do you like more of the new DC Marvel comics? So set the tech. That is a question that I'll be answering on my Wednesday video. I think I'll do like a whole 8-minute thing where I review both and then kind of compare and contrast them. Kind of answering the overall question, like, was the Marvel DC crossover like was it successful in 2026? Like, should they do more crossovers every year, or is it kind of just like they kind of landed and they didn't hit? But yeah, we'll be answering that question on Wednesday. But I'll tell you right now, I think that DC did the better of the crossover for sure. Better covers, right? Better covers, better stories, writers, artists that are attached. I think that DC really kind of won. If there is like a war to be won between the two or a battle or whatever, DC definitely won this one. And then real quickly, the Static Shock Kamala Khan story that was really fun too. Kind of like these two younger heroes, the next generation. I like the way that one ended as well. And then it was kind of over. So overall, I think that yeah, this is a great issue. I think that it was worth the money. I know a lot of people were saying that the high price tag, 7.99. I think what you're getting with some really good stuff. You're getting Dan Mora, Grant Morrison, right? Like you're getting Tom Taylor, Bruno Redondo. You're getting Hayden Sherman, James Tynion the fourth, and all the other writers attached to that one. So I think it's worth it. If 3 out of 4 of the stories bang, I think it's worth it, dude. But let's move along to Captain America #5. We'll get through these comic reviews pretty quickly so we can get to the DC solicitations for February 2026. But of course, got to talk some Captain America first. This is a great issue. I think this concludes the first arc, if I'm not mistaken. Our Secret Wars Part 6. But yeah, it's still got Captain America. He's in Latveria. still trying to help him out. The last issue had a big battle between Doctor Doom and Captain America in the center of town. So everybody in Latveria saw it, kind of like the different ideals: America, freedom versus Latveria, Doctor Doom, kind of ruling with an iron fist. And then this is kind of the fallout of that. And Captain America, he's got to go save this David dude because David dude has been Captain America since Captain America's in the ice. And this David dude is turning into U.S. agent, bro. He's going crazy. He's just killing all sort. He's just going nuts in Latveria. He's kind of broken potentially, finally, right? So his mind might have been broken. Captain America's got to go in and try to save him. And yeah, it's really sad because obviously David is someone who looked up to Captain America growing up. He's why he joined the service because of Captain America, just inspired by him, and just to see this kind of moral conflict with David, bits with his mom too, which I thought was really compelling. Where it's like David going home and from the first time right here, where he's kind of talking to his mom and his mom's yeah, they're just going back and forth. He's like, like maybe that pain is all I have now, bro. And like you just see him in his mom's arms just crying, right? So this has been really good. Chip Zdarsky has a knack, like he's writing Cap so good. Um, just very compelling stuff. My parents are retired Air Force, so they this story is hitting a lot harder, I guess. Like the idea of service and like serving your country. Is America really the bad guy? What is America's place in the world stage and all that stuff? A lot of questions being asked, man. So Captain America continues to be amazing. Chip Zdarsky's just killing it. Backing up, answering some questions here. Meyer HQ, what's up, Meyer? He says, when he said, I don't know what that is when it came to CPR, I was like, whoa. Yeah, that's a good point, too. So back in the day when Captain America in like World War II, right? They didn't have CPR. So when David's like, yo, or I forgot who asked him, like, do you know CPR? Captain America's like, what's that, dude? So he wasn't able to help him. But yeah, that was pretty crazy. Just a man at a time, right? That's Captain America. So uh, Family TCGs, he says, what would Marvel have to do to get you to start pulling them again? I haven't really read any Marvel, so can't speak to the quality. Thing with Marvel right now, it's just like all like this is like this is like a long discussion, so I'll just like scratch the surface, I guess. But it's like the way I feel about Marvel, like it's mostly symbiote stuff, right? Like I'm not into the X-Men, so I'm not like an X-Men reader. I haven't gone back and read a bunch of X-Men, so that cuts out like half of Marvel's like what they put out, right? If you're not an X-Men reader. Um and yeah, so it's I just go through their solicits and I'm like, nothing's interesting me. Like that new Iron Man series next year with Josh Williamson writing. That one I might, but even then, Iron Man's not a character I care about, right? Um, so yeah, I don't know. It's tough, dude. It's tough pulling some Marvel. Are you covering Saga by Brian K. Vaughan? Not right now. So the thing with Saga is I've been pulling it in singles. Wait, it must be on a hiatus. I haven't pulled it in a really long time, but I'm pulling it in singles. I read the first half, and then when it came back from its really long hiatus, my plan was to read everything when it's finished, right? So it'll be a while before I get back to Saga. Obviously, one of the most legendary stories of all time. And yeah, dude, let's talk about Everything Dead and Dying. Issue 3 was excellent. So if you're not familiar with this story, it's a zombie story, but the one guy is can't get infected by zombies. For some reason, zombies are not interested in eating him. And so he's been kind of keeping his town going. He's been like feeding all the zombies in his town, all the people he used to know that turned into zombies, and he's keeping the town going. And he's been doing that for like 11 years. So he has a daughter that has since been turned into a zombie, but he doesn't want to kill his daughter, right? He still thinks that his daughter's in there. So this group of humans roll up and they just start blasting all the zombies. So our main dude, he's like pissed about it, right? So he's like trying to kill the humans who are trying to kill all the zombies. Very interesting kind of twist on the zombie story, right? So if you're into Walking Dead and stuff like that, definitely check out Everything Dead and Dying. But this one has like a more of an emotional kind of gut punch. The fact that he is trying to take care of his zombie daughter, right? So it's like it's kind of this like push and pull, this tug um, that I find really interesting. So Tate Bromble, he's killing it. Jacob Phillips on the art. If you guys know Sean Phillips and Ed Brubaker, they're collaborative duo, legendary. Jacob Phillips is Sean Phillips' son, so he takes right after his dad. He's got kind of his dad's sort of eye for like action and stuff like that, but kind of follows that same sort of style. But yeah, man, I think Jacob Phillips is just one of the best artists in the game right now. Tate Brombal is really surprising me as a writer. You got to check out Everything Dead and Dying. Really good zombie comic, for sure. Moving along, we got Ultimates 18, dude. Wow, listen. Wait, hold on. Backing it up. Seth the Tech said this one sounds a lot like The Last of Us. Very much so. I guess some Last of Us vibes for sure. Kind of like the fatherhood kind of themes, right, that you get in The Last of Us. And the fact that it's kind of like a post-apocalyptic for sure. Ultimates 18, dude. Wow. Dennis Camp is really killing it with the series. We know that the maker is almost out of his jail, right? He's been in there for 2 years, and the Ultimates have been preparing for this whole time for the maker to get released. This issue was kind of just like an overview of kind of what a bunch of the Ultimates are doing right now. As we see, like we get like updates on everybody, right? So Dennis Camp just filling us in. Luke Cage is still freeing everybody in prison across the U.S. Like we got Hawkeye, he's going on some missions. We got this version of America Chavez going on missions too. So yeah, it's just kind of like an update. We got Thor and Sif; they're still fighting off stuff in Asgard, doing stuff in the Nine Realms or whatever. We got this version of She-Hulk; she's busting ass, dude. And we know that technically one of the ultimates is a rat. I guess I won't spoil it if you guys didn't catch that when we found that out a little bit ago. But yeah, so they've been feeding information to this version of Nick Fury as we see here, and he's a bad guy. He's working for the Hand, part of the Maker's Council, right? So a lot of moving parts in this Ultimate series, but I think it's really good. And just kind of the overall message of this one, very inspiring, right? It's Tony, this version of Tony Stark, Iron Lad, and he's just talking about the state of the world. And he's like, hey, this isn't the world you're supposed to have. You can help us and you can fight back against the Maker. There's a many different ways you can fight back, right? It's not just like if you go to work, maybe just don't go to work, right? And that's like a step towards fighting the Maker, stuff like that. So very inspiring issue. Um, just getting a look at all the corners of the Ultimate Universe as we see Black Panther. We got the X-Men group over in Japan, right? So yeah, really, really good issue of the Ultimates. I'm liking it, and man, when this series is over and the whole Ultimate Universe is over, I don't know, dude. I'm gonna be pulling like 3 Marvel series, dude. I've been loving the Ultimates. We got a question about Ultimates. Here we go. Set the Tech says, "Is there any Ultimate story you'd want to see that you haven't seen yet?" Um, I don't know. That's a good question. I think that I don't know. I don't know. I can't answer that one. I don't know. Is there an Ultimate story that I would want to see that I haven't seen yet? I haven't thought too hard about the Ultimates and kind of like my fan fiction in my brain about it. I don't know. That's a tough one. Guys, we got to talk about the conclusion to the New Gods. Listen, dude. If you've never read a New God series, you got to get the first trade and you got to catch up on this one. I thought Ron V concluded it. It's so beautiful. Look at Evan Cagel's artwork, right? So the entire story is about Orion and Mr. Miracle. At this point, they're trying to save this kid because this kid is like the next generation of the New Gods. He's super powerful, but the Desaad and Maxwell Lord or whatever, they're trying to use this kid for evil. They're trying to use the kid to bring back Darkseid. That's kind of their ultimate goal. So it kind of ties into what's going on with the overall DC net meta narrative, right? But yeah, so we got these kid Orion. He's remembering back in the day, a couple issues ago, when he's sitting next to the kid. He's like, "Hey, kid, you don't have to be like this, man." And the kid accidentally shoots Orion, shoots through him or whatever. So yeah, listen, Evan Cagle on the artwork. It's some epic, epic stuff. I thought it was epic all throughout. Desaad has captured himself inside this like tomb thing, and he's torturing himself, and it's hurting Mr. Miracle. But Mr. Miracle gets out of it, dude, because he always gets out of it, right? He's Mr. Miracle, and they save the day. Back on Earth, we got the Justice League is teaming up with some other members of the New Gods as we see the biggest Barda of all time kind of stomping down. And yeah, dude, I just thought that they concluded this really, really well. Not to spoil the kind of ending here, but they say that the New Gods may return. So we're really, like, guys, we're really hoping that Rom V comes back to the New Gods. He gets his buddy Evan Cagle, and they just continue, dude. Give him an ongoing for the love of God, bro. Please. Excellent stuff. That New God series was really good. Maybe in the middle, they kind of like juked me out. I was like, where is this going? And then they come back and just conclude it really well. So Yeah, dude, New Gods is sick. Chris Gonzalez says, loved Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips collabs since Fatale. They're goaded. Dude, Fatale is so good. Um, Fatale is like one of my that's on my Image comic like Mount Rushmore for sure. Fatale is excellent, dude. So yeah, love Fatale. Let's talk about news from the Fallout. So this series is a lot. It's another zombie apocalypse sort of story, but it's all about. If you guys are looking at the art style, very unique from Jeffrey Allen Love. Comic books don't look like this, bro. It's really cool. Kind of the interesting part about Jeffrey Allen Love is he's got this unique style, but like you can tell who this is. Like if you've been reading this series all throughout, you can tell who that is. What's another good example? This guy here. You know this guy because he's always got the pipe, right? So it's just kind of like this really smart visual language that Jeffrey Allen Love does, where you can just tell who everybody is, even though there's no detail. It's very kind of stark in the detail, right? But this is a zombie apocalypse story. It's all about this dude. He's been running since the start. He was there when the bombs dropped, when the military dropped the bomb. But it turns out that that wasn't a regular bomb. It was a bomb that turns people into kind of like these zombie horrific creatures. And he's just trying to escape, man. That's really been the story of it. But I love the way that this one concluded. Um, Him in the radio tower making the final message, and yeah, it kind of leaves off on like a really wonder what's gonna happen to the world after. Seems like the whole zombie apocalypse is gonna take over, kind of thing, right? So listen, Chris Condon, he's a comic book writer who's just killing it. Jeffrey Allen Love, really unique with the artwork. I'll have to be on the lookout for the next Jeffrey Allen Love project. But when this series is out in a trade, man, I really think it's one to get. Nice little short zombie apocalypse sci-fi story, old timey, takes place in like the 60s. It gave me Twilight Zone vibes all throughout. So if you guys are into Twilight Zone or shows like that, definitely check it out. A couple more issues here, guys. We also got a question from Seth the Tech. He says, would I recommend New Gods for new readers? Also, is there a comic you would want to see in a movie for TV show or an animated project? So your first question, would I recommend New Gods to a new reader? Absolutely, dude. I don't think you'll be lost at all. Um, I think that Ron V does a great job of kind of setting up who the new gods are and gives them like new enemies and stuff like that. So you don't need to know like all the new god history from the back in the day, right? Like you can jump in with issue one and be just fine. He kind of sets it up. It's like the new generation of new gods is like coming, right? So it doesn't really rely on so much of the older stuff. It's kind of like new gods for a new age kind of thing, which is why I thought it was so impressive. So yeah, and then for your second question, a comic book that I would want to see in a movie or TV show slash animated project, I think would be cool, and we'll get to it in a comic book review in a little bit. Exquisite Corpses number 7. I think that would be a really sick, kind of like animated show. I think that could really bang, kind of like a battle royale sort of thing. There's a lot of comics that I think could make for good animated specifically. I think animated is like a really way to translate kind of like your comic book work into a kind of like adapt it easier. If you have a really cool like animated style, I think it could really be cool. Anyways, let's talk about GI Joe number 14. I just read this before I started this live, dude, and I was really loving it. It's got some Mad Max sort of vibes. It's got Cobra Commander and Duke. They've got to team up because the Dreadnoks, they're trying to backstab Cobra Commander and kill him when none of the other Cobras are near. Kind of like, yeah, just backstabbing them. They're working with Destro to kind of supplant. Is that the word? Surplant or supplant? Let me know in the comments if you know that word. But trying to take over, Destro's trying to be the leader of the Cobra Commander. He's trying to take his place, so he's trying to get him killed. And Duke and Cobra Commander got to work together. It's just an insane kind of Mad Max sort of inspired issue. The entire thing was just action all throughout. And yeah, dude, you got these like aura moments with Cobra Commander just standing there with a gun. Um, you get some like, oh, let me show you the one page that really kind of blew my mind. So right here, right, you got Cobra Commander and Duke. They're jumping out of the car, and each of them, each page is kind of like this is Duke, what he's doing on this side, and this is Cobra Commander, what he's doing on this side. So this page like really kind of was sick. And I love when comic books do really cool comic book things. Like you can't really, how do you translate this to the screen, right? Like you can only really do it in a comic book. So the stuff like that I really love. Um, backing it up. We got some comments, dude. We got Frank Manzella 608. He says, "Have I read Tom King's Mr. Miracle? I think they're making a show out of that story, dude. That is like a that's like a top 20 DC comic for me. I'm a big fan of Tom King. Like you won't hear any Tom King slander on this channel, dude. I'm a big fan of Tom King. That being said, I haven't read his Batman run, right? But all his like 12 issue maxis, dude. I think Tom King's like the king of the maxi series, dude. Um, okay, we got Vactor coming in with Supplant, dude. Thank you, Vactor. I used it correctly then. I think taking a place. Yeah, so Destro wants to supplant Cobra Commander and take his place. Um, let's see, we got Vactor again. He says, "Yo, when my boy Cody talks, I listen, dude. What's up, Vactor? Appreciate you, man." Backing it up, we got Omega Slice. Knights is getting animated only after like 14 issues. Knights is really good. I've only read the first trade. I got to get that in trades. Maybe I read it digitally through my library, but I really like Knights. That was really cool. So and then Frank says, supplant sounds right, dude. Thanks for the assist, Frank, dude. Um, Surplant. Okay, so it's not Surplant. Surplant is a rare or archaic corruption of supplant that is generally not used. Okay. All right, dude. So we got supplant, dude. But anyways, like we were saying, G.I. Joe is sick, dude. If you guys aren't reading G.I. Joe, it's far and away my favorite corner of the Energon universe. I know some people like the Robert Kirkman out in space. You got Void Rivals. That's cool, right? You got the Transformers stuff. Danny Warren Johnson was doing great stuff. Obviously, now we got a new creative team on that. But for the longest time, dude, the minis, right? Like you got Duke, you got Cobra Commander, you got the Destro series, you got Scarlet, and then just the awesome ongoing. It's been really great. So yeah, dude, GI Joe's been sick. This issue was sick. It's really cool to see GI Joe and Duke working together. Common enemy, my enemy is my friend, maybe. And should I show you guys this one issue? It's kind of a spoiler, so I guess I won't. But something happens to Cobra Commander where I'm like, bro, is that guy gonna be alive in the next issue, dude? We'll have to see. GI Joe is sick. Backing it up, backing it up. You just got Vision by Tom King. Okay, Chewy Queso. I haven't read Vision, right? So I just talked about how I love Tom King. I haven't read Vision. Um, there's like two or three like big Tom King stories that I haven't read yet. Like his whole Batman run. I have not read Vision yet. Mostly focused on his DC stuff for sure. So yeah, haven't read Vision, but I've heard good things. We got Set the Tech. He says likes how Marvel DC collaborated this year. Is there any comic studio that you think should collaborate? Uh, you know, like if well, because I know like so Boom Studios is collabing with DC coming up to do Swamp Thing is Killing the Children, stuff like that. So I'm just for any crossover. I'm just like in a crossover mood right now. Oh, hold on. So Chris Gonzalez 6787 says it'd be lovely if you did an Image comic Mount Rushmore end of the year classics list, maybe. Yeah, I've had an idea for. Actually, I was thinking of maybe this Wednesday because someone else commented on my video and they said, do 3 Image comics. One is like an old one that has ended a long time ago. One's a mini, so you can read it real quick, and then one's coming out right now. So I think I was going to do that for Wednesday as one of my new comic book day topics as well. So yeah. Um, so yeah, we'll definitely do a Mount Rushmore type of thing. That's a good topic. I've talked about Image Comics a lot, but I can always talk about more of them on the channel. What the flip, dude, from Chewy Queso because I haven't read Vision, and then I don't read a ton of Marvel. If you guys can't tell, like I've really kind of Frank says Vision was great. Chewy Queso said thanks, Frank, dude, love it. All right, couple more issues to review, guys. We got Absolute Flash, Exquisite Corpses 7, and then Nightwing. And then after that, we'll get into the solicitations for DC February 2026, and then we'll close out the thing by reviewing and unboxing this classic Riddler McFarlane. Let's talk about Absolute Flash, dude. This was the best issue of the series. Well, it's like up there. It's like one of the 2 or 3 best issues of the series. We get Nick Robles back in the art. I think he's got a great eye for Flash and kind of this Wally West character. This is really interesting because Wally is teaming up with the Rogues. He's teaming up with his own Rogues to save his father from the like ultimate villain in the story. This lady here, Thawne, I believe, Dr. Thawne. So yeah, Dr. Thawne has kidnapped Wally's dad. So Wally has to work with Gorilla Grodd and the rest of the rogues to go get the dad. That's just sick, dude. I love that, man. So Jeff Lemire, it's like you're finally getting there, but everybody's dropped the series by now, dude. So it's kind of sad. But I'm sticking around, Jeff. I'm here, man. So yeah, we got the rogues coming in with the Flash. Something goes wrong, but I do want to mention, right? You get this moment. You got Wally. He's seeing him in the past. He's seeing himself in the future, like by a couple seconds, right? So we're getting this like little flavors of Wally being able to time travel and having that ability. Stuff with the the Speed Force, right? So there's always Flash shenanigans going on. So we're finally getting little tastes of that. Um, as you see here, it's kind of driving Wally mad, but then he has a mind meld moment with Grodd. I love this relationship. If you guys want to know the truth, this is why I'm sticking around, guys. This is why I'm keep pulling the series. We got Wally and Grodd. It's just so sick, dude. Okay, so they're just buddies. I'm loving it. Absolute Flash. We'll have to see if he can save his dad in the next issue. Keep reading to find out, dude. Let's talk Exquisite Corpses number 7. This one was very action packed. We got the Fox Mask Killer going up against the Golden Face like main dude from the first issue. If okay, backing it up. If you guys don't know Exquisite Corpses, it is a battle royale series. It's a bunch of killers. It started out with 12, I believe, all in a small town in Maine. And if they win the battle royale tournament, the person that sponsors them, like the super rich billionaire family, these are all the families here, they're sponsoring the killers. If your killer wins, you get to be the president or the king of the US for 5 years or whatever it is. It's kind of like the secret organization that's like running the United States, right? Like the president's not really the president. He listens to what we say. We're the real rich people. So there's like this conspiracy angle to it, but then it's just action all throughout. It's a great kind of horror, like slasher sort of series. And yeah, Exquisite Corpses has been really good. This is the battle with the Fox Mask Killer and the Goldface kind of soldier dude. But all throughout, in between all these killers, the story focuses on some of the humans that are kind of caught in the crossfire. They don't know what the heck's going on. Why are all these killers coming to our small town in Maine? They've cut all the phone lines. Like we can't leave. Like they set barricades and blocking out the entire town so no one can go in or out. And yeah, it's just like a bunch of rich people just killing for sport, and trying to win like this evil, sadistic kind of battle royale tournament. And dude, if you haven't been reading Exquisite Corpses, it's been really good. The artwork is really sick, from Michael Walsh and Claire Rowe. And yeah, it's been a strong showing from Michael Walsh as a writer. We know that he did that Frankenstein series and he did good with that too. So yeah, it's just filled with a ton of great creative talent. James Tynion the fourth, Michael Walsh, Jordy Belair on the colors, right? So yeah, you guys got to be reading Exquisite Corpses. I think trade number 1 is out, and yeah, been really great series from Image Comics this year. Backing it up a little bit, Family TCGs. He says, shout out Gorilla Grodd, the biggest boy, dude. I love this version of Gorilla Grodd. It's so cute. Chewy Queso says, who would I like to replace Dexter Soy on Nightwing? Bro, no one? Dude, no one? What? Is that something people want, dude? I think Dexter Soy is killing it, bro. And let's review it. Let's talk about it, dude, because this is sick. Okay, so check this out, right? Look at this. What do you mean? What the hell do you mean someone replaced Dexter Soy at Nightwing, bro? This is sick. He's coming in, he's smashing through the window. Look where he lands, bro. Dexter Soy is killing this series, man. So I don't agree. I think Dexter Soy is killing it. Is there like, do people want him to leave, dude? I've never heard that. Meyer HQ says my favorite indie book. It just feels oddly paced. You think so for Exquisite Corpses? It's interesting because like they have a lot of moving pieces, right? Like there's a ton of characters that they're trying to balance. So yeah, weird paced. Yeah, I could see that a little bit. Like it every issue you're getting everybody's story just like a little bit, right? But there's so much to cover, right? So there's a lot of moving parts. Kind of hard to balance it. I could see that though, it being oddly paced. He's off the title, dude. Are you joking me, dude? Oh my god, Chewy Queso said Dexter Soy is off the title. With this one? Okay, he says Dexter Soy got 3 issues left. That's something that's happening. Dexter Soy got 3 issues left. Dude, and Frank also coming in. I'm pissed, dude. I'm actually pissed. God damn it. Listen, I was saying it, and you guys might have heard it on my last live. I was saying that Dexter Soy and Dan Waters, I was liking it maybe more than Tom Taylor, Bruno Redondo, bro. Is that a hot take? And now Dexter Soy's leaving, man? God damn it. Listen, we just gotta hope that Dexter Soy he stays in DC. Do something in DC, man. All right. Do an absolute title. All right, Dexter. I think you got a great eye for action, and it's just sick, man. Oh my god. Chewy. This is bad news, dude. This is bad news, guys. All right, set the tech coming in with a nice question. Says I'm a comic book fan. Started this year. Do I think trade paperbacks and hardcovers and omnibuses will be a better way than reading single issues? That's the ultimate question, dude. That's something that every comic book reader has got to find out for themselves, dude. I found, let me show you. I found a nice way to balance it. I have a ton of collected editions. I read a bunch of them every single month, but then also I still find a way to stay up to date on single issues. It's tough. It's tough. I don't know. Like, okay, here's what I would say. If I didn't do content, like if I didn't do comic book content, I probably wouldn't pull so much, right? But I'd be reading DC Universe Infinite a lot. I still do, but I would read even more. I'd read a ton of more stuff through my library. I'd be mostly a digital reader for new single issues, but then collected editions. I'm never gonna not buy collected editions, dude. That's like my ultimate favorite. So yeah. I don't know if that answers your question. Um, let's see, backing it up. Uh, bring back Bruno. So that's not a bad idea. It's not that I dislike Bruno, right? It's just that I like the darker tone that Dexter Soy brings. Like, dude, you're in Bloodhaven, bro. You're in Bloodhaven, right? So Bloodhaven to me has never been like a bright, shiny city. Like, it's cool to see Nightwing doing stuff in the day, man, but I like this darker tone, bro. I like this darker tone for Nightwing. It's kind of like he's the bright spot in this kind of dark universe. I don't need the entire comic book to be bright and hopeful and uplifting, right? Nightwing is that himself. So I don't know. Does that make sense? Anyways, Zek Zek Teach Zect Trooper says not a hot take. Appreciate that. And then Meyer coming in with a rumor. Jonathan Hickman's coming into DC to write The Flash after DC KO with Dan Mora on the art. Dan Mora also said in 2026 he's focused on one big title. Wow. Two things there. That would be kind of crazy if Dan Mora, he is attached to so many titles. If he wants to just focus on one, that could be really interesting. It is kind of a loss to see him not working on everything else, but I get it. He's got to give the man a break, dude. He's been grinding for like 4 years now. And then you're saying Hickman's coming to DC. That's crazy. I mean, you might just like that's insane. I don't know if that comes true, man. That's crazy. If he doesn't take editor in chief, but okay. So at Marvel, so editor in chief at Marvel, if CB Beluski or whatever his name is not retiring, interesting, dude. And then Family TCG says I'm the same Seth Tech started this year and haven't bought any singles, all buses and trades. If you're down that route and you don't worry about picking up new single issues, it's a good route to be on. Just being a collected edition. For me though, I just hate that everything's late, right? Like you're coming into like when this isn't a trade, like this Nightwing issue, you're talking in 8 months. You know what I mean? Like you're talking like this thing will literally be in a trade in like more than 4 months, right? So that's kind of crazy to me. But I get it if you like to binge read and stuff like that. It makes sense being a collected edition reader. It's all up to you, man. Some people look at this and they say $5 and you just read it and you're done. What's up with that? I get that too. Let's see. Meyer HQ. Oh, that concludes the comic book reviews, guys. So after this, we'll be getting into some DC solicitations for next year, and we'll see how long it takes us. I don't know how long it takes us, and then we're gonna unbox the Hush. I guess this is from Hush. Yeah, Batman Hush Riddler. Yeah, so I've just been calling it the classic McFarlane Riddler, but yeah, we'll get this guy open after we do some solicitations from DC. We got some comments here. Meyer says, I take that rumor with a grain of salt. Listen, I like it. I like that rumor. I'll spread it. I'll spread misinformation. I got no problem with that. Set the text as any comic book writer that is your favorite. Ed Brubaker has got to be my favorite comic book writer. And maybe artists you're going Sean, maybe Ed Brubaker, Sean Phillips. They're my favorite duo in comics, so that might be the answer to that question, Seth. Meyer says, I sell my singles and upgrade to trades and omnis. Yeah, that's not a bad idea either. Like you read the singles when they're coming out, and then you just sell like your stack of 5 Nightwing singles. You just sell them, and then you maybe take a little bit of a loss, and then you upgrade to a trade. That's a good strat too. A lot of time consuming selling stuff. I don't like to sell too much stuff. Paul Dev says I wish I had the patience to wait for trades. That's my thing, dude. Is I just like to be up to date on comics, man. Like I'm having a ton of fun covering comics, right? But then also just being in the world of comics, like always picking up the new every single week, right? I'm into the hobby for sure, like that. Set the Tech says I'm kind of the same family TCGs. All right, guys, let's get into. We got the publisher solicitations. Listen, I wish I was cool and I got these on like if you've seen hello? Where the hell's DC? Where's DC solicits, dude? ah, it was here earlier. Okay, hold on, guys. Hold on here. What the hell's going on, man? There should be DC solicits right here. That didn't do anything. There's no more. I mean, dude. Okay, listen. There's a goddamn technical issue every single time, and I swear to God, it's not my fault. Am I blind here, or can you guys see DC solicits? Am I blind? IDW, Titan, Mad Cave, Boom, everything but DC. All right, God. Ah, 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 ah. All right, all right. We're gonna have to do a backup plan, guys. We're gonna have to do a backup plan. God damn it, dude. This always happens, man. All right, so hold on, guys. Excuse. This is very frustrating, dude. Hold on, boys. Hold on. We'll figure it out. Okay. Quick thinking, huh? Oh my God. Hold on. You have to do this every time, and then you can. It's just wicked big, all right? Okay, guys, we fixed it. We got the phone going now. But then you guys aren't gonna be able to like read it and shit. God damn it, dude. Let's see how big it is. Man, I'm crashing out, yeah. Family TCGs, I'm crashing out. Well, it just sucks, dude. Like I planned this whole thing to talk about the solicits, right? And then you go on the app and literally, like, look at this. DC's right here on the phone app, but it's not on the iPad app, all right? So League of Comic Geeks, you're on my shit list now, dude. I use this app every day, but I hate you guys. I hate you guys, dude. You're ruining my live stream, dude. Okay. All right. Enough crashing out. We got it. Someone has put a curse on the streams. Seriously, man, my videos I make for YouTube like usually go well. It's the streams that have issues. All right. DC solicits. Now, how do we want to do this? Do you guys give a shit about single issues? You want to start with the collected editions? Do you even want to talk about the single issues? Let me know, I guess. Because I figure we start with the collected editions and then we can get into the single issues if you guys are interested. But I feel like most people have, the collected editions kind of on the mind, right? So let me know. We'll do the collected editions first, and then we get into single issues. But if you guys let me know, we hate single issues, we don't want to hear it, fine by me, dude. Hold on, backing it up. Do I do this from my PC or phone? If you don't do it from OBS on your computer, just set up a second screen and reduce the size. Yeah, that's what I. So if you saw me just fix it, that's what I ended up doing. Yeah, I do it on OBS, and then yeah, that's how I do the scene switching and all that stuff. Do you want me to send them a strongly worded email? Listen, I got one. I'm typing one up in my mind right now, dude. Don't even worry about it. So sad, Batman and Robin by PKJ is ending at issue 30. That's actually sad, and I feel bad about that because I dropped the series. That's probably partly my fault, dude. So yeah, sorry about that. Anyways, DC solicits. We got Wonder Woman Historia, the Amazons, the Absolute Edition. Wow, that's pretty funny because I've been meaning to read that for the month of November, so I haven't gotten around to it yet. I'll be talking about this not this upcoming Wednesday, but next Wednesday. I'll be talking about everything that collected edition that I read in the month of November. That's cool that they're doing an absolute of this. I haven't read it though, so I have not used if it's good or not. Used to stream on Twitch. OBS is the best for sure. Yeah, I'm liking OBS. It's pretty allows me to do a lot of cool things. Make the stream a little bit more unique than maybe some other comic book streamers. So yeah, we're looking forward to the Absolute edition. I don't buy Absolutes typically, but this is for the Absolute heads out there. So yeah, that's cool. Supergirl's Family Vacation. I don't know what this is. Probably for a young ages kind of audience. Same thing as Galaxy Volume 2. Okay. Superman Kryptonite Spectrum. Listen, if you guys are into All Star Superman, everybody's telling me All Star Superman is your favorite Superman. You guys got to come out and support Superman Kryptonite Spectrum. It's literally like a sequel to All Star Superman. It really does feel like that. From the team behind Ice Cream Man. So very wacky, zany. So you get that kind of Grant Morrison flavor. And then the artist, even just looking at the cover, I mean, that's kind of like a Frank Quietly sort of look, right? Like all throughout reading this, I was like, yo, this is like Frank Quietly. I think issue 6 still has to come out to conclude the series. Issue 5 still has to come out. But yeah, Kryptonite Spectrum was sick. You guys should definitely check that out. Ty's Nerd Corner. What's up, Ty? Shout out to Ty. Make sure you guys follow Ty, man. Follow on Insta, TikTok, YouTube. I love Ty. Yeah, love Wonder Woman Historia. Still haven't read it yet. I've heard good things. I got to get to it at some point. Oh, dude, Batman Dark Patterns. If you guys missed my, I did a video on YouTube talking about comic book series that just ended, and the first one I talked about in that video was Batman Dark Patterns. Actually, it might have been the second. I think I talked about Batman and Robin Year One first, but still, Batman Dark Patterns is sick. You guys got to check this out when it's out in a trade. Does this have the entire story? It must, right? Yeah, 352 pages. Does this have issues number 1 through 12? It must, right? All in one. That's sick, dude. So Dan Watters, we were just talking about him writing the Nightwing series. He was writing a great Batman with Batman Dark Patterns, but you get the artist for Absolute Wonder Woman. So Hayden Sherman doing a Batman story. So yeah, Batman Dark Patterns, definitely don't miss it. Set the text. Is there any Christmas themed comics that I would recommend? The one that comes to mind is Klaus. So I mean, we're talking about a lot in this episode. Grant Morrison and Dan Mora. You got to read Klaus. That's like one of the best Christmas stories of all time. It's kind of like a superhero Santa Claus. So yeah, definitely check out Klaus. If you're into Dan Mora, you'll like the artwork for sure. Dark Knights of Steel All Winter. I think that Dark Knights of Steel is sick. I haven't read All Winter yet, but just anything continuing in the Dark Knights of Steel universe is probably pretty sick. So I got to back up and read this on DC Universe Infinite. Birds of Prey. Man, this must be the last trade. Yeah. So listen, Birds of Prey by Kelly Thompson was excellent all throughout. Maybe it started stronger than maybe where it ended. This last like arc was maybe like going through the motions a little bit. It still had some strong character moments, but it wasn't as strong as that first initial arc. Um, I missed Batman Dark Patterns. Can't wait for the trade. Yeah, Batman Dark Patterns, like that trade is gonna bang. When that's in a deluxe edition, that's gonna be like one of my most prized possessions. It's gonna be so sick. Do I think Batman Dark Patterns should have continued? That's a great question. It definitely could. I know that Dan Watters, like, he has more ideas for Batman stories and stuff like that, and the whole thing, like, how it was broken down, every 3 issues was a new case. So it was like 3 issues was a case, 3 issues was a case, and it turns out that all the cases tied together. So I think that, yeah, Dan Watters could take that formula and just apply it to more Batman stories. I'd be so down. Get Hayden Sherman to do the art for it. Just can keep it going. That'd be sick. Um, that'd be cool. Deviant by James Tynion the Fourth. Yes, dude. Deviant's great. If you guys look at my which way? This way? You guys see up there? No? Can't see it. Oh yeah, you can actually. Right there. Deviant. Where is it? Right there. My on the poster on the ceiling. I got the Deviant, dude. Shout out the Deviant. Actually, Josh Hickson, good buddy of mine, dude. So I could tell it here, dude. Josh is not gonna watch this. I was smoking weed outside of a convention with Josh Hickson, the artist for the Deviant. That's pretty funny. Little story there. Set the text says, "Would I recommend Batman Noel?" I'm not the biggest fan of Batman Noel. I don't really like Lee Bermejo's artwork. Is that a hot take? It's not my favorite art style. It's like it's like too realistic almost. Um, all right, continuing. Batman Gotham by Gaslight, Kryptonian Age. Same kind of thing with Dark Knights of Steel. I think that anything Gotham by Gaslight has been really cool. The fact that they brought it back and they've been expanding on the classic Gotham by Gaslight like universe. I think that the Kryptonian Age has been really good. I've been waiting for it all to come out so I can binge read it. But yeah, that's pretty good. Keeping it going. The Omega Act. So this is Justice League Unlimited. Would this be the? So I guess this wouldn't be the We Are Yesterday stuff. Or no, it is. Yeah, it is. So maybe miss out on this one. I didn't really like this arc, this kind of tie-in. Missed me with it. Definitely a downturn for the Just League Unlimited series. Just like you start this series, Justice League, right? It's the premier team in DC, but then you immediately throw them into a tie-in. I'm like, dang, Mark Wade, hate that. Um, Ties Nerd Corner, Deviant is on my TBR this December. One of the James Tynion fourth, absolutely. That I haven't read. The Deviant was really good. When that was coming out last year, it was a shame that it had so many delays. But now that it's all out, it's like a really perfect Christmas horror, which is like you never hear that horror Christmas, right? So, yeah, dude, definitely check out the Deviant. Green Lantern, Green Lantern Corpse. So this must be that event they just had, right? Starbreaker Supremacy. I dropped off of the Green Lantern stuff. I was liking it, but I did drop off at some point. There was like just too much of it. Justice League versus Kong versus Godzilla. Okay. Okay, here we go. This Green Arrow trade. You guys got to pick this up. This is what I was talking about. Chris Condon with Monthos. This was like one of the best series I was reading from DC, and then it got axed, dude. It got ended. But I was liking it all throughout. So definitely check out this Green Arrow trade. We got some compacts. Okay, so we got a compact for Dark Knight Returns. Surprised it's not already a thing. That's kind of surprising that that's not already a thing. And then we get into some DC Finest. Okay, so we got a Dead Man DC Finest. That's pretty cool if you're into Dead Man. I haven't read any Dead Man at all. Always been a character that's interested me though. So we got Dead Man. We got the a Bronze Age universe by Jack Kirby. Okay, all right. That's interesting. The King Jack Kirby. Seen some of his DC work. I'm not gonna buy that, but that's pretty cool for those that are out there. DC Finest, Justice League of America, Star of the Conqueror. Okay, so like the very beginnings of yeah, done now. You see Justice League Unlimited, or sorry, Justice League of America 1 through 19. So yeah, that's pretty cool. I like the DC Finest like format. I just haven't bought in too many of them myself. I did get sent when that first wave was coming out. DC sent me that first wave. That was pretty cool. DC Finest Western. So if you're into Westerns, see some of them from DC. I love Westerns. I wonder what year this stuff came from. Um, Between August 1970 and April 1973. So, okay, you get some Denny O'Neil in there. I see as a writer. Batman by Neil Adams Absolute. So obviously Neil Adams, one of the most legendary Batman, creators of all time. Just such a great look for Batman. So you finally get an Absolute. Um, Looks like he's getting like recolored and stuff to match the original printing. Taking place from the complete works of Neil Adams. That's crazy. In oversized absolute format. So yeah, that's pretty cool. My wife's outside the door. All right, so keeping it moving. 100 Bullets. I've not read 100 Bullets, but people keep telling me it's like one of the best series of all time, like one of the best Vertigo series. I got to read 100 Bullets. Let's see. Ty said, I just did a video on the topic, but how do I feel about DC compacts? So I don't have any compacts myself. It's just not a format that's like I want to. I would like to cover DC compacts, like to do videos on them and stuff, but sometimes I'm just like, oh, I have that series already. I don't want to double dip. I don't really have a place to like store them really. I don't know. I like the idea of compacts and I want to get into them, but I'd be picky about them, I guess. Like I wouldn't go for like a whole line, but I do think that they're really cool. And I know my brother's buying them, for example, and a lot of new comic book readers are buying them. So compacts are sick. Just the idea of them for sure. An Animal Man Omnibus. This is the stuff after Morrison's run. We got a compendium. I love the compendium format, dude. So we got some Batman Beyond Unlimited compendium. Love Batman Beyond, dude. They need to bring them back because they were doing Batman Beyond Neo Year and then Neo Gothic. I forgot the second series was called, but yeah, bring me some more Batman Beyond minis, dude. Is there an era in comics I wouldn't read? You know, I can't really read Golden Age stuff. Like, that's like pulling teeth, bro. I tried reading a Captain America, Golden Age, like his first appearances and stuff, and Golden Age is always tough, man. The only Golden Age I've been able to read is Superman. That's like that like was actually able to follow it. It wasn't too wordy. It had a lot of action, right? So I think that Golden Age is pretty brutal for me. Hey Riley, hey, big fan. Shout out. You should you should subscribe. All right, Sword of Azrael, the deluxe edition. I love deluxe editions. So at some point, this will probably make its way on my shelf. I think that the deluxe edition is like the best middle ground between absolutes and then like a trade, right? So I'm a big fan of deluxe editions. I think they're cool. So this will probably end up on my shelf. Not really read too much of this era of Batman. So like yeah, okay, cool. Booster Gold, he's getting a book 3 in trade paperback form. Elseworld Superman Omnibus. So the fact that they're doing this is sick. I think all the Elseworld stuff is fun. I tend to not buy omnis like this though, like a compilation omni. I'm not really the biggest fan of that. I like to buy it when it's like the run from start to finish kind of thing. I'm not so into the, like I don't even know how to describe it. Like just like the variety kind of stuff. Like I'm not really into Elseworld omnibuses technically. Like usually, um, yeah, I think it mostly comes down to the fact that like I don't really need to own any of these Elseworlds. I just think Elseworlds are cool. You know what I mean? So this one will not be a buy for me, but that's cool. Legends Omnibus. What is this? Alan Moore writing. Um, I don't even know what era this is from or anything, dude. What year? It's a sequel. Wait, a sequel to Crisis on Infinite Earths? Anyways, all right. Interesting Omni coming out. Legion of Superheroes. I gotta read some Legion of Superheroes, man. I hear so many good things about the Legions, and it's like some people it's their favorite team in DC, and I just have not read any Legion stuff. You get a little shades of them when I read some Superman stuff, but yeah, I gotta read some just straight up Legion stuff at some point. So that's pretty cool. Get another Omni for that. The Omega Man by Tom King. I'll be honest with you, I had no idea about the series at all. So, a Tom King DC series. We were talking about him earlier in this episode, earlier in this live. I have not read Omega Man. This is one that I never hear anything about. Is this like one of Tom King's better series? Is one of his not so good? I don't know. Um, okay, Riley says not a fan of comics, but a fan of me. Okay, right on. Shout out. Paul Dev says they're also a Batman Beyond static mini. Yeah, dude, I missed issue 1 of that, but when it's out on DC Infinite, I'll definitely check it out. Ty says she's very collective with compacts. I think they're great for filling in the gaps in the collection. Yeah, I mean they have some like seminal stories that like all DC readers should read. A lot of them like I've already read. I guess for me too with the compacts, it's interesting because like they did a Catwoman one, right? So Ed Brubaker Catwoman, but it's only like the first little bit of that run, right? So it's like, are they going to continue it like with like they have a Court of Owls compact, right? Are they going to do a sequel to that, like continuing with the Batman New 52? It's kind of weird what they're doing with the compacts. It seems like they're kind of feeling it out and seeing what kind of works right now. But yeah, it seems like they're not doing like long series and they're only doing like shorter ones. I don't know. Set the text. Is there any new upcoming comic book run that I'm excited to read? I'm excited for so much, dude. Like I don't know, dude. We're in like a great era for comics. I like if you guys hear my pull list every week. I mean, there's 10 comics every single week. I'm excited about. Robin Bronze Age Omnibus. Been missing that. I don't really care so much for the Bronze Age. And then the last collected edition got the Flash, the Road to Rebirth Omnibus. Brian Buccellato. I've heard good things about this. This Flash run, and then even the Rebirth stuff. I heard good things about it, but I've never read that era of the Flash, so I got to back it up and check it out. See if I missed any comments. Uh, no, I don't think so. Yeah. So, what do you guys think? Do you guys give a shit about single issues on the solicits or not? Because there's a lot. There's a lot. Oh my god, there's a lot. Maybe we'll scroll through and we'll just make like little comments. All right. Nice House by the Sea, James Tynion the Fourth, Vertigo series. You got to be picking it up. Bleeding Hearts is going to be the new series from Dennis Camp and Stepan Morian. That's a must pick up in my opinion, dude. Don't be missing out. The start of DC Vertigo is coming back in February with End of Life as well. Kyle Starks, I'm a huge fan of. If you This creative team, they work together on Peacemaker Tries Hard, which is a really good DC Black Label mini. So Steve Pugh, familiar with him. Kyle Starks, love Kyle Starks' work. And then you got another DC Vertigo. This is a Chris Condon, Jacob Phillips. So we were just talking about Chris Condon and Jacob Phillips. So the writer of this series, you guys see here, Chris Condon, and also the writer of Green Arrow that's coming out right now. It's really good. And then um, the artist for Everything Dead and Dying. So you got the writer from this, the artist from this coming together, and they've done That Texas Blood, which is a really good Image comic series if you're into like cowboys and that kind of vibe, like a western sort of vibe. So yeah, Chris Condon, Jacob Phillips. I'm pumped for them coming to a DC Vertigo series, dude. Vactor says, "What original comic art would I purchase first?" If you guys see, I'm not like a comic art collector. I only have 2 pieces, so I don't know about comic art. And then Ty is Nerd Corner. Yeah, Ty. Excited for DC Vertigo. I'm all over DC Vertigo. It's gonna be pumped. It's gonna be sick. All right, so DCKO number 4. It looks like this is when the Absolute Universe characters are crossing over. 3 mysterious new Omega Charge fighters have entered the tournament. And yeah, so we'll have to see with the final crossover, like finally the DC Absolute is crossing over with DC main continuity. Have to see what's going on with that. And then you get all of the other introductions to the universe, like Homelander, Annabelle, Vampirella, Sub-Zero. They're also getting introduced into DCKO. No idea how that's going to work, dude. No idea at all. Then you got DCKO Night Fight, Superman. We'll try to point out like the new stuff, right? So if it's been ongoing, we'll just probably blow right past it. Man, I missed out on the Flash coming back. Like when it switched to Mark Waid writing with, yeah, I missed out. I gotta back up and start collecting that Flash when Mark Waid's writing it. Titans, I dropped Titans a long time ago. Sirens Love Hurts. Teeny Howard written, So they probably, if you're a Teeny Howard fan, you're probably lit on this. Maybe not one for me, maybe not the right audience for that one. Keeping it going. Oh yeah, now just to remind you guys, after this, we're going over the solicits. Will probably be done in the next 5 minutes or so. We'll be opening the DC Classic McFarlane Riddler. Absolute Wonder Woman. Check out the cover though, dude. Okay. All right. We're into that. Keeping it going, dude. The annual coming out. Okay, cool. That's cool that Mateo De Luis. That's really cool. I like that Mateo De Luis is doing some DC work again. Working with Kelly Thompson, longtime collaborator. Set the Text says my 12 Days of Omnibus shorts are fire, dude. So that was a project I did a long time ago. I think that was in 2023? That feels like so long ago now. But yeah, that was like one of the most stressful content creation, like making videos of my life because I had to do one every single day, and it was like a full overview of the omnibus, and I had to unbox it like that day. So that was very stressful doing that series. That's why I haven't done another one like that actually. All right, keeping it going. Absolute Martian Manhunter. Listen, one of the best absolute titles. It's number 2. It's number 2 for me. The Flash keeping it going. Okay. Absolute Green Lantern, I dropped off on. Hate to say it, but I dropped off on that one. Yeah, Absolute Green Lantern, the new Batman, Continuing Fraction, and Jimenez. Okay, so this must be where Dexter Soy is coming off the title. Because you guys are telling me that Dexter Soy is leaving the title. Is this his last one? Dude, man. I'm going to crash out again, guys. You guys need to catch it live. Batman and Robin number 30. Okay, so it's probably what you were saying. This is the end here. Man, the thrilling finale of Philip Kennedy Johnson's run. I feel bad about that, dude. That's on me, guys. I should have been reading that. Oops. Batgirl's continuing though. That's good. Not reading Catwoman. I dropped off Poison Ivy too. Hate to say it. I was picking that up for the longest time. Harley Quinn, haven't been reading. Detective Comics, I dropped off on as well. Just reading too much Batman stuff lately. I dropped Action Comics. I was thinking about adding it back because of the hype with the Superman movie. And Mark Waid taking it over, doing some like early days of Clark stuff. I think that would have been cool, but I dropped it unfortunately. Um, we get some some Valentine's themed stuff, of course. That might be kind of it for the kind of like big hitters, you know. Got some Green Lantern stuff. Dude, Gargoyle of Gotham is not done yet? Dude, I forgot all about this shit, dude. Hold on. Okay, so this is the conclusion. All right, check this out, guys. Look when the first one came out. September 12th, 2023. You're telling me it took close to 3 years. Listen, dude. Listen, all right? I don't know about that one, dude, all right? Seth the Tech says it's kind of shocking how my voice has changed over the years, and I feel like you're now more confident in how I speak. Thank you. I appreciate that. It helps when you talk about comics every like day or every week at least, for hours and hours on end. Gargoyle like Gotham again. This is what someone is mentioning, the fact that Batman is static beyond. They're getting crossing over. So issue 3 of that. Got some facsimiles, dude. I think that's it, man. I think that's it for the DC solicits for February 2026. How long was that? Was that like 30 minutes? Oops. All right. Well, that's it for these solicits, man. So yeah, a lot of cool stuff coming from DC. Let's close out this video by doing a quick unboxing. All right. It won't take too long. We'll get you guys out of here nice and quick. Now, this is a reminder. We unboxed the Joker a couple weeks ago. Last week we unboxed the Scarecrow. Okay. So these guys, they need their green buddy. We got the Riddler coming in. Okay, so let's unbox the Riddler. Top down. Okay. The worst part about any DC McFarlane unboxing, you gotta like cut those dang things, and that takes forever. Okay, so hold on. I also thought about opening them before recording, but then I don't know. All right, I just forget and stuff. All right. You guys see him there. Get a good look. Get a good look, okay? Because I'll show you the art card in a second. Okay, so you got the art card. Nice little artwork of the Riddler. Of course, you also get the dinky McFarlane stand that really isn't too good, but at least it comes with a stand. Marvel Legends would never. So you got that art card. You guys want to know about the Riddler? Check it. Read all about him, dude. Edward Nygma. Yeah. That's the Riddler. That's the Riddler, all right. So yeah, if you guys haven't read Batman Hush, you gotta read Batman Hush. It's a classic, dude. All right, so backing up for the comments. Infinite Audrey New 52 says Batman continuing makes me so happy. Everything Tate Bromwell has been fantastic. Check out Green Lantern Dark. I was liking Green Lantern Dark when it was coming out. I just I dropped off. I was trying to read it all in a binge because my shop told me it was like going to end in a couple issues. So I've been pulling every single issue. Um, I just gotta read it all. Is there anything on his arms? No. Oh, look at that, dude. You telling me McFarlane only had 2 things to cut? No way, bro. No way. There must be something I'm not seeing here. Ah, ah. Okay. Wow. Really went all out on the old accessories, Todd, on this one. Because we've got just a cane. Just a cane as an accessory. So this is what it comes with. No hand swaps, Todd, huh? No hand swaps on this one. Okay. Okay, Todd. Okay. Hey, buddy. All right, backing it up. Any comments? Set the text says, have I read Crypto, The Last Dollar Krypton? Yeah, I have. And I don't think you should read it if you're a child. Don't read it unless you're like ready to cry. Like Ryan North's gonna make you cry. There's like dog abuse in it. There's like fucking dead dogs, like other than Crypto. There's dogs dying all over the place, man. And I didn't like the way it ended. So Last Star Krypton a little bit disappointing. Not gonna lie, I wouldn't recommend that one personally. Okay, dude. So talking the Riddler, Riddler McFarlane. Okay, let's look at the sculpt. Okay, the sculpt. How are we feeling? How are we feeling? I think it's good, dude. Okay, so you got the bowler hat, kind of look for the Riddler. I've always liked the bowler hat look. It's like a Batman animated series, right? He's always got that bowler hat. Okay. Got the okay. There is a question mark on his tie, kind of hard to see with the glare. So you do get a little bit, just like light touches of Riddler. Like if he didn't have that, and maybe if he took off his head, you might not think he's the Riddler. He might just be a guy in a green suit. So I kind of like the kind of understated kind of look for the Riddler. I think that they killed the look with the purple gloves. And yeah, I'm just really into this face sculpt. Wait, hold on here. Is that better for light? I gotta figure out this lighting situation. Anyways, um, yeah, dude, the face sculpt is great. I think the hair is cool. I'm trying to get my hair like this, dude. How do I get my hair like this guy? Anyways, so yeah, let's do the articulation. You spinning the head around, 360, does a full 360, no problem. He doesn't have a beard or anything in the back, so I'm expecting the head. Yeah, you got to be able to go down. Okay, so it goes down, and it goes up. Maybe you want just like a tiny bit more up, just like a little bit, nothing crazy. And it's really because his kind of collar is kind of stopping it. But I do gotta say, I like the kind of rubbery finish to his top half. The suit material is kind of bendable, as you guys can see. So that is a nice touch. Sometimes you get a McFarlane and the plastic's a little too hard, and it's hard to bend them and stuff. Let's do a T pose. You do it? Yeah. He's doing the T pose. Got the 360 shoulders. You got the classic McFarlane bicep swivel. Do you think the Joker is an overused villain? That's a good question. Actually, you know what? Lately, maybe not. Maybe the Joker has been like used the perfect amount. Ask me that question 3 years ago, dude. Joker was everywhere. Get the hell out of here, Joker. But maybe nowadays he's not used nearly as much as he used to be a couple years ago. All right, so you got the 360 bicep, you got the double jointed elbows. You guys see nice big crunchy elbows there. You got the 360 on the wrist, and okay, so you do get that wrist kind of swivel. It's just a little bit harder because he's got his sleeves on his jacket, his suit jacket kind of go up farther than maybe other McFarlanes. So yeah, just working out a little bit. That's not too bad on the wrist there. Okay. And then, like I was saying, no hand swaps, dude. This is literally what it comes with. You got your dinky stand, the art card, and you got the cane. I'll take a closer look at the cane in a second here. So the arms are pretty good. Now, what I was worried about is the torso. Yeah, like, are you getting any crunch at all in this? I can feel it trying to, but it really is that rubber suit is kind of stopping it. Let's see. So if he's standing straight, how far can we crunch it? Yeah, not the worst. I have other McFarlanes that have kind of like this rubbery suit, and it's not as easy to bend. It doesn't really get in the way. So yeah, I would say that's an acceptable amount of crunch. And are we going back at all? Going back a decent amount. So I think that this is the top half pretty well articulated. Let's take a look at the legs. So of course you get that crotch, that classic McFarlane crotch joint, nice clicky. Yeah, the high kick. You wish the high kick was a little more, maybe, kind of like doing. You wanted to do some Jim Carrey, some high kicks, but maybe a little tough. Maybe a little tough on this guy. Again, because that rubber suit. Um, yeah, you can't really like watch this. See it kind of tick back, So yeah, you get that rubber suit's kind of tough on the legs, if anything. You get that double jointed, crunchy knees, always appreciated. And then you get that classic McFarlane 360 ankle with the toe articulation, dude. So overall, I would say the look of this figure is pretty good. I think that they found like a really nice, like classic look for the Joker. Obviously, this is from Batman Hush, but it could really be from any time frame. And then you got this can, very simple, just that green with that gold question mark on the top. I mean, really isn't too crazy. Um, I don't know what else I would have included, right? Like, what's another staple of the Riddler? I don't know, you like a Riddler trophy or something, but it's kind of for the Arkham series, not really, but not really a Batman Hush. I don't know. Maybe some other hand swap. I mean, this is just kind of lame to only include this, but okay, let's see what we got for the can. Do the can down the. This is the can hand, right? Hello? Okay. The default's a little tight. I don't know. So yeah, okay. Yeah, that's the Riddler. That's the Riddler, all right. I think that's pretty good. I don't know if they've made a better one, but this is the perfect Riddler for me. I really like that bowler hat look, dude, if I'm being honest with you. And yeah, so let's take a look at some comments. We got Set the Text says, what would I want McFarlane to change with their figures? I don't know. I mean, the fact that they're 7 inches, I know that's a problem for a lot of people. Like they're not 6 inches and they can go with Marvel Legends and stuff. That's never been an issue for me. Um, I guess I would just say like just the characters they choose. Sometimes I look at a character, I'm like, you really made a figure of that instead of where's a Zatanna figure? Has there been one? Or like where's been a I don't know, just like all these characters you want to see, but McFarlane never does. That's probably the one thing I would say. Chris Gonzalez says, I'm all in on Barry Keoghan's Joker depiction, the last Joker movie. Unpopular opinion, I know. Yeah, I'm not against that. I guess I would want to see more. You know what I'm saying? Before I make like oh, he's the Joker. But it wasn't a bad first look at it at all. Um, and yeah, dude, so I think that's gonna do it for New Comic Book Weekly. I'm doing this every single Monday around 4 p.m. That's usually when we start. We do weekly pull list. We do comic book reviews. I choose a random topic. So I think next time for next Monday, I might have Kai Bucks on again. We might talk top 10 comic books for the month of November. So look forward to that. And of course, we always end with an action figure unboxing. Nice little cool down before I let you guys on your way. I think next week we might unbox some heroes. We might unbox some heroes. I got a classic Batgirl, some Barbara Gordon Bat. Yeah, I'll just show it. I just don't want my tower to fall. It's gonna fall. It's gonna fall. Oh god. Okay. Yeah. Maybe we'll unbox this next week. What do you guys think? All right. So it's a classic Batgirl. Might be a fun one. Add her to the Bat family up top here. Replace my kind of crappy Batgirl that I have up there. And yeah, Set the Text as W Stream. We appreciate you, Seth. Thanks for watching, guys. Yeah, so that's what I was saying. New Comic Book Weekly every single Monday around 4 p.m. You guys can join me here live. I'll be posting the videos, the clips from this stream later on throughout the week. But I really appreciate you guys joining me. And yeah, catch you guys later. Thanks for watching. Read more comics.